We begin this week's newsletter with a spotlight on Shigella. You don't often hear about Shigella outbreaks, but one is happening in the USA right now, and you can read about that in this week's Food Safety News Roundup. The only natural reservoir for Shigella species is humans, and no food products naturally harbour Shigella bacteria, making this foodborne pathogen quite different from other bacterial pathogens like Listeria and Clostridium botulinum, which are ubiquitous in the environment. In practice, this means that Listeria and other ubiquitous bacteria are almost guaranteed to be present in raw foods and soil, while Shigella are only found in environments or foods that have been contaminated with human fecal matter. Shigella has a low infective dose, 10 to 100 organisms, and can survive in refrigerated temperatures, in refrigerated foods and in frozen foods. Some species are also acid tolerant, especially at refrigerated temperatures, and mildly salt tolerant. Shigella is better at surviving stomach acid than many other bacteria. When ingested, Shigella causes severe symptoms which last for around 7 days and include bloody diarrhea, fever, and abdominal cramps. Secondary complications such as bacteremia and hemolytic uremic syndrome can be life-threatening. Shigellosis is a major cause of bacteria-caused dysentery, and that's bacillary dysentery worldwide. There are 1.1 million deaths from shigellosis worldwide each year, primarily of children in developing countries, with most cases caused by person-to-person transmission and contaminated water. In the United States, just 1% to 6% of outbreaks are foodborne. Foodborne outbreaks in wealthy countries are usually traced to an infected food handler who's contaminated food through the fecal-oral route. That is, they've not washed their hands properly after using the toilet. However, foods that are eaten raw and which have been contaminated with human waste prior to harvest can also cause illness. Commonly implicated foods are those that have been prepared by hand and eaten raw, such as salads, with outbreaks occurring in restaurants, social gatherings, airlines, and cruise ships. In wealthy countries, foodborne Shigella outbreaks are easy to prevent. The bacteria are destroyed rapidly at 65 degrees, that's 65 degrees Celsius or 149 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's cooking temperature. Prevention relies on two principles: careful food sourcing and hand hygiene. In countries where Shigella is endemic, avoid raw food and drink only boiled or commercially bottled water. Takeaways for food professionals. Shigella is a group of 4 species of bacteria that can cause foodborne illness, but which more commonly cause illness through person-to-person transmission and contaminated water. Shigella survive in frozen and refrigerated foods. To control and prevent risk from Shigella, foods that will be served raw must be sourced carefully to ensure they've not been contaminated with human waste during growing, harvesting, packing, or processing. Any person handling food must follow hygiene protocols, including thorough and effective hand washing and avoiding bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods. In short, Shigella does not occur naturally in food or the environment. Its natural reservoir is humans. Food only becomes contaminated with Shigella through contact with human waste, either during growing or from unhygienic handling practices, via the fecal-oral route. Most Shigella infections are not from food. Shigella survives in refrigerated and frozen foods, and some species are acid and salt tolerant. Cooking inactivates Shigella. Infections typically present with severe gastrointestinal symptoms, and bacteremia and hemolytic uremic syndrome can result. Prevention is achieved by sourcing uncontaminated, ready-to-eat foods and good hand hygiene. And as always, I've got a list of sources that I've used for everything I've just said in the email in the post, so do check that out if you want to learn more. And if you want to keep your food safety knowledge up to date, do go ahead and subscribe to The Rotten Apple if you haven't already. You can subscribe for free and get most of what I share with you guys each week. But if you do choose to pay, you will help support this independent publication and all the work that I do every week.